Hi everyone, just a really quick video from me because you're about to do your English language paper one if you're sitting AQA. So I just wanted to go through the strategy of what to do for English language paper one for literally just 5 minutes. So the first thing you're going to want to do for English language paper one is you're going to want to read the questions. Okay, it sounds obvious, but make sure you read the questions and mark out on the extracts certain key prompts so that when you come to read the extract, you actually know exactly what quotes and things you're looking for, okay? So that process of reading the question, marking up the extract, getting the quotes, everything like that, in total should take about 15 minutes. But in terms of reading the questions, there are these predictable questions for paper one that we're just going to go through now that will help you to just understand what you're trying to do, regardless of whatever the paper is, okay? The extract will change, the questions will change a little bit, but the underlying structure of the questions stays exactly the same. So question one will always be list 4 things which you learn about something. Yeah, so 4 things you learn about this character, 4 things you learn about this setting, 4 things you learn about whatever. Yeah. It's 4 marks. You literally should spend no more than about 2 minutes on this. It shouldn't take any planning time. And you normally get the 4 things that you learn from the first 4 lines of the text. So, let's say it's about a character called Rosie. You might learn she's 11 years old. She has red hair. She goes to this school in London, right? So there's 4 things. Boom, 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 done. Question 2 is always going to be how is language used to describe something? It's always going to be 8 marks. I'm always going to recommend spending about 10 minutes doing this. You want to spend about 8 minutes of that time writing and about 2 minutes planning. My rule of thumb is you want to spend 1 minute per mark writing and about 1/4 of the mark planning. Yeah, so 1/4 of 8 is 2, 8, obviously 8 minutes. How is language used to describe something? Yeah, so it could be how is language used to describe the character, the setting, the whatever. With this question 2, you want to do 2 paragraphs and you want to do 2 quotes which you analyze per paragraph, okay? 2 quotes per paragraph, 2 paragraphs total. About 300 to 500 words is plenty. Question 3, how is structure used to interest the reader? Always going to be that question. Again, 8 marks, so 10 minutes, 8 minutes of writing time, 2 minutes planning. Again, 2 paragraphs. You want to do about 2 quotes per paragraph, and you want to use that thing called FOPPS that I've told you before. So the big ones to focus on focal points and why they're interesting in a specific way. So they're interesting because they create mystery, or they're interesting because they create excitement, or they're funny, right? Focal points, and also pace, the P of pace. And pace you can get from short sentences, long sentences, lots of punctuation, not very much punctuation. So focus on those things, 2 paragraphs. I would do 1 on focal points, 1 paragraph on focal points, and I'd have 2 focal points that you explain. And then second paragraph would be on pace. And again, I'd have maybe 1 or 2 bits of pace with evidence that I would explain, okay? With question 3, you can also use line references if you want to. Question 4, a student will give a statement, and then you just have to decide to what extent do you agree with that statement. So this one's 20 marks. I recommend 20 minutes of writing time, and 1/4 of 20 is 5 minutes. So 5 minutes planning time, 25 minutes total. For this one, you want to ideally do about 3 paragraphs, still about 2 bits of evidence per paragraph. But just remember that with this one, because it's evaluation, you also want to come to a judgment. So overall, I do agree. Overall, I don't agree. Overall, I somewhat agree. Yeah. So you're stitching together bits of evidence together. You can do language and structure for this one. Final thing I'll say on question 4, spend more time than you think on question 4, because if you mess up question 3, that sucks. You might drop some marks. But if you mess up question 4, that really sucks because it's 20 marks. So make sure you give enough time to question 4. Question 5, finally, this is also section B, creative writing based on a picture or a scenario. You get 2 choices, 40 marks. I recommend spending about 35 minutes on the writing process and about 10 minutes before that planning. Write at least 600 words, plan the work a bit more than you would, plan your work like you'd plan music. So think through story, pace, characters. I've explained that in other videos. Go into a bit more description than you normally would. Use the 5 senses. vary your punctuation, push your vocab, push your ability to create pace and atmosphere. Okay, that's all I got within this time frame, but hopefully that's helpful. And good luck with these exams. I'm sure you're going to do great.